Donald Wight II, was born in Aiken, South Carolina on 8 February 1972. He had a disease of the endocrine system, acromegaly, as a child that by the time he was 12, Paul was 6 foot 2 inches. However, in the early 1990s, he underwent surgery to halt the process of this condition. Paul attended the Wyman King Academy in Batesburg-Leesville, South Carolina, where he played basketball and American football. Still, he quit football during his freshman year due to disputes with his coach and joined the cheerleading team. He went on to Northern Oklahoma Junior College, Tonkawa, Oklahoma, and competed with the basketball team. He then attended Wichita State University, where he also played basketball from 1992 to 1993. He participated at the Southern Illinois University, Edwardsville. He was a member of the National Collegiate Athletic Association division of the Cougars basketball team. Paul scored a total of 39 goals for the Cougars. After graduation, Paul worked a few jobs including bounty hunting, bouncing, and answering phone calls for a karaoke company. While at the company, he met Danny Bonadus, who introduced Paul to his friend Hulk Hogan. In turn, Hulk Hogan recommended Paul to the World Championship Wrestling's vice president, Eric Bischoff. Eric signed Paul in 1995 with the WCW, and his first appearance was at Slamboree, where Paul used the name The Giant as a member of Kevin Sullivan's Dungeon of Doom stable. He then fought against Hulk Hogan at his professional debut in-ring match with WCW World Heavyweight Championship and won the game. Paul teamed with Ric Flair at Clash of the Champions 32 and defeated Hulk Hogan and Savage. Still, Hogan regained his position at a cage match of Super Brawl 6 where he severely beat Paul. Paul then wrestled against Flair and regained the World Heavyweight Championship. Hogan then formed the New World Order and defeated Paul for the title. After these victories and losses, Paul left WCW and signed with WWF for a 10-year contract in February 1999. He went by his real name Paul White, this time under Vince Mahon's stable. He was later renamed The Big Show by Vince at his WrestleMania 15 debut. He wrestled Mankind to earn the right to referee the main match between Austin Stone Cold and Corporation's WWF champion The Rock. Paul, however, lost the game after being disqualified for incapacitating Mankind. He teamed up with Undertaker in the Tag Team Championship, which they won twice. Having earlier lost his WWF Championship to Mankind, he wrestled Bossman at Armageddon to retain it. He lost it again in another match. This time, he wrestled Triple H at Raw but lost to Triple H. Paul began to compete for the WWF Hardcore Championship. He defeated Raven at No Way Out, which he won, but at a retake match, he lost Raven's title on an episode of Raw. He had 2 more losses, to Lesnar at Royal Rumble and to The Undertaker at WrestleMania 19. Paul, who was now called Big Show, along with Charlie Haas and Shelton Benjamin, defeated Mr. America, a disguised Hulk Hogan, Kurt Angle and Brock Lesnar in a tag team match. It was Hogan's last appearance as Mr. America, and Paul became known as the man who retired Hogan. After a few unsuccessful matches, Paul took a break to heal from injuries he had sustained, with his contract expiring in 2007 February. He departed WWE, but 2 months later, he replaced Lawler Jerry, who withdrew from a PMG Clash of Legends match with Hogan. He was introduced for this match as Paul the Great White, stating that the name Big Show was his slave name and he was no longer owned. The name change did not, however, salvage him from Hogan's defeat. Paul made a return to WWE television on February 17, 2008 at No Way Out, where he was confronted with boxer Floyd Mayweather, which led to a match at WrestleMania 24. Mayweather knocked Paul out with a blow to his jaw. Paul again returned in October for SmackDown and became #1 contender for the World Heavyweight Championship. He defeated Rhodes to win the International Championship, making him the 24th wrestler to win the Triple Crown Championship and the 12th Grand Slam champion in WWE. Paul lost in 2013 episode of SmackDown of the World Heavyweight Championship to Del Rio in a last man standing match, thus ending his 72 days reign. He then went on a 3-month hiatus before returning to WWE on an episode of Raw. He helped Rob Van Dam and Mark Henry from The Shield, defeating him, Paul turned face in the process. After taking a long break, Paul again returned with a feud against Sting, wrestling him at Raw. Paul became Sting's first ever opponent on WWE's A Show. However, the match was disqualified after Seth Rollins interfered. John Cena, in anger at the disqualification, stormed the ring in support of Sting. It became a tag team match with Team Sting winning Paul, who was joined by Rollins. In July 2016, Paul joined the Raw brand as part of the 2016 WWE Draft. He began competing mostly on live events instead of SmackDown and Raw, becoming a part-time wrestler. In 2018, October, Paul returned on the episode of SmackDown Live against Randy Orton for a qualifier to gain entry into the inaugural WWE World Cup, but he was defeated by Orton. He suffered a few other losses during this period, which was mostly caused by his injuries. However, he tried to regain his title and fame. Still, he was written off television as he suffered from a hamstring injury. After a year, he returned on January 6, 2020 episode of Raw. He turned face in June when he helped the Street Profits at the Viking Raiders ward off the group of ninjas fronted by Akira Tozawa. At the start of Paul's wrestling career, he was introduced as the son of Andre the Giant, despite his real father passing many years before. This introduction led many to compare him to Andre the Giant, and often fans told him he fought like his father. This comparison was born mostly from the fact that both of them suffered from acromegaly with a similar body structure. Although Andre lived with the disease, Paul halted his with a surgery. Paul became a running gag among fans of wrestling for his widespread and frequent turns between face and heels in the course of his fighting. It was estimated by one wrestling site that Paul had about 34 turns since he debuted in 1995, a fact Paul himself did not argue. Paul has also ventured into feature films and television series, appearing in jingles all the way, Star Trek Enterprise, Royal Pains, The Water Boy, Psych, and Born Notice. He starred as a lead character in the comedy film Knucklehead, a 2010 production of WWE Studios. He was also featured in infomercials for Stalker 2. He was featured in Cisco and Foxy Brown's Thong Song music video and featured on the game show Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader?, where he won $15,000, which he donated to United Service Organizations. He continually appears on 2 versions of the game show in 2 countries. Paul won the 2012 first ever Slime Wrestling World Championship at the Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards. He defeated The Miz, throwing him into a tub of slime. Paul is a 2-time WCW World Heavyweight Champion, 2-time WWE World Heavyweight Champion, 2-time WWF and WWE Championship, and 1-time ECW World Heavyweight Champion, making him the only man to hold all 4 of these titles, and a 7-time World Champion with a net worth of $20 million. Thank you very much for watching our videos. We'll appreciate it if you subscribe to our channel and share this video with your friends. We love you.